So I've noticed that my homecoming video, or Joel's homecoming video, has gotten a lot of traction. A lot more traction now lately than a year or two ago. So that got me thinking that I should probably do a video talking about reintegration and the things no one talks about after all the rainbows and confetti and balloons and signs and all the pretty stuff that you see during the homecoming, which is exciting. It's very exciting, but there's a lot that goes into what happens after. This is basically advice that I wish I had when Joel came back from the deployment, because this is stuff that no one tells you. Yeah, you get like talks and ceremonies and like big information packets and things like that, but no one tells you what to do when they come home. No one tells you what to expect when they come home. Little backstory, Joel was deployed when we first found out we were pregnant back in 2015. Yes. 2015. He deployed when we first found out we were pregnant and came back when Lucy was about 3 months old. So he was gone for about a year, and that's with pre-mob, the deployment, all combined together. It was a year. So we went into this deployment with no kids, and he came home and we had a baby, a 3-month-old, almost 4-month-old baby, and that was an adjustment. So the first piece of advice I want to give you guys is to be patient with one another. It's one heck of a transition to go from no kids to kids. And then for the ones that don't have kids when they come home, it's a transition to go from living by yourself to adding someone else back into your home. Even though you know this person, you love this person, you've been married to this person, or lived with this person prior to the deployment, it's not going to be the same. It's never going to be the same, because a lot happens in a year, and a lot of changes happen. You get used to certain habits, you pick up certain habits, you let go of certain habits. So it's an adjustment. So be patient with one another. The next piece of advice is probably the most important piece of advice that I can give anyone who is dealing with reintegration, and that is communication. Communication is key, and I know it's a cliche, and I know everyone says it, and I know everyone's like, oh yeah, I've heard it before. You have to relearn each other, and that requires a lot of communication. There's going to be fights, you're going to argue, you're going to bicker, it's going to be some things that annoy you about the person, and anyone that tells you that's not the case is probably not telling you the truth, because honestly, it is an adjustment to relearn a person and to get to know the person that's been gone. It's an adjustment, and there's going to be things that you now do that that person doesn't understand or doesn't do or did differently while they were gone, and that's probably going to annoy you, that's probably going to bother you, that's probably going to stress you out a little bit. So definitely communicate as much as you can. You're going to argue, but don't let it spiral into something that could have been avoided by just having a conversation. The next thing is incorporate them into the routine. I had the hardest time transitioning from being solo parent and taking care of this baby by myself. I was breastfeeding, I was changing diapers, waking up in the middle of the night, going to bed. I had the routine, the baths, everything I was doing myself, and letting go of being a solo parent and allowing my spouse to help me with the baby, our child, our baby, became something a little bit difficult for me to do, but was essential for him to learn how to parent, because he was brand new to this. I had been doing it for 3 months, but he was brand new to this whole parenting thing. Okay. And I had to learn to integrate him and add him into our routine and make him part of the routine so that he, one, feel part of the family again, and two, learn how to be a dad. That FaceTiming and talking to your baby is one thing, but actually putting your hands in the pot and getting to know what it's like to take care of the kid and do all of that is essential for them. Just like adding them into, you know, if you guys used to cook together, if you guys used to clean together, if you guys, anything you guys used to do together, reincorporate them into that routine or that aspect, because it's going to be that connection that can kickstart progress. Another thing that I should have said first, but I didn't say first, but I'm going to tell you now, is just throw all of your expectations straight out the window. Anything that you expected or you had high hopes for or you were hoping was going to happen when they came home, throw that out the window, because it's not, one, going to happen as quickly as you would like it to, and two, not everyone is going to have the same expectations that you had. They're going to have expectations that they need to throw out the window, and you're going to have expectations that you need to throw out the window, because the reality is that you're two separate people on two separate pages right now. No matter how much you communicated during the deployment, no matter how much you talked during the deployment, you're going to have your own individual set of expectations that have nothing to do with their idea, and vice versa. Start from scratch after you guys have come together and been able to have a conversation about what you would like to do, starting with their homecoming and on. And the last thing I want to tell you guys is to seek help if you feel like the relationship isn't going anywhere, if it's not progressing. There's this idea that if you're fighting, if there's something wrong, if you guys aren't getting along, that there's something wrong with your relationship, when the reality is that you're just trying to get to know this person and relearn this person. And sometimes you need a little bit of help. And there's nothing wrong with going to marriage counseling and finding that help to, get your marriage back on track. I personally wouldn't wait till you guys want nothing to do with each other, or things just blow up to a point where you can't stand each other anymore. I wouldn't wait that long. But if you need help, seek help. It's okay to need marriage counseling. That's what it's there for. It's there to try to save your marriage, or to figure out if it's worth it or not. Most of the time, it's a fixable issue, and it's something that you guys can work through. Some people just need a little bit of extra help, and there's nothing wrong with that. I hope this was really helpful for you guys, and I hope that your post-deployment reintegration goes very smoothly, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.